Okay, so I know this is going to be obviously a little bit of change with changing up the Zoom times and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a couple announcement run throughs. Our team Zooms are officially going to move to Tuesday at this time. We'll go with this until if something else corporate wise changes up. But I think that this is going to be the best bet for now. And for those of you on the East Coast, I'm sure you guys are going to thank us because it's hard enough for me Central Time to be up at 9 p.m. So hopefully this will keep our sanity a little bit more and we can bring a little bit more fire. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Erin Tweed and I've got Taylor Kaufman. We are going to be doing this Zoom tonight. And so we're going to be talking all about mindset and setting goals and just really kicking off the new year. But I want to do some housekeeping things. So Monday nights, the Sunday family call is official on Monday nights. You should receive some Zoom email notifications. If you're not getting them, check your spam folders. If you're still not doing that, go ahead and submit a ticket because those are coming through. And I know this is a new transition process, but everything is on Zoom. You can hop on, they are recorded. And so as soon as I see those shared, we will share them. I just haven't seen it uploaded yet. Most of the information that was announced yesterday is going to be very similar to the call that was on the 29th, with the exception of, I know that they did a little bit, the Rap Magazine, whatever you want to call it, is officially live and can be purchased. So if you want to do that, you can do that. That's a new really cool thing just to kind of get to know some of the different top leaders, get to know some of their stories. But then if you guys also didn't see Kelsey's post, just because of all the things that are going on, the big C that we're not supposed to say on Zoom so that this doesn't get blacked later. The price of some of the products has gone up. So you guys will notice that was effective yesterday. And so as soon as we kind of get some of those information and different things, we will be sending that your way. And then in case you missed it, last week on Wednesday, they announced the really cool welcome kit that's going to come with your distributor starter kit. So make sure that you go to your eSuite or your website, check it out. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. But that's going to be the big thing. So that way you guys can kind of know what's going on. And then I want you guys to go ahead and drop in the comments. I want to know who is jumping on the 14 Easy. So there is an awesome challenge that's going on right now, and you guys can see some of those different packs, but it is called the 14 Easy, where you're getting to use, or also go ahead and put in the comments too if you've tried the new superfood smoothie. I really can't decide which one's my favorite. Like I keep going back and forth. The other day I did the chocolate berry with a banana and some vanilla oat milk and ice. It was freaking fire. But then I also like the tropical smoothie, which is vanilla oat milk. So they're all really good. So put that in the chat so we can see. I know I don't even know. Like some days, I think it's just going to depend on what I'm craving that day, I guess. But they're delicious. And so that is going to be included in your pack, as well as the cleanse and the Thermophyte X. And I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't, and the blender bottle. And are slimming gummies in there? No, right? No. Okay. I think that's it then. I'm trying to think of the picture in my brain and it's not working. So go check those out, but it is a great thing that you can start doing those different things that you can start marketing to your customers, especially in the new year and different things. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the content. All right, Taylor, do you want to kind of kick us off with just what are some things? So obviously this is a brand new year, 2022. For me, I feel like the last couple of years have been absolutely crazy. And so we're going to talk about some stuff specific to the last couple of years, but then also just things that are important as far as what should you do in a brand new year? What should you do in a brand new month? And just kind of go from there. If you guys have specific questions that you're wanting to know, go ahead and drop those in the chat because we'll make sure that we answer them along the way. But Tay, if you just want to go ahead and just introduce yourself and then we'll jump into some questions.
Hey, you guys. My name is Taylor Kaufman. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm a presidential diamond, been with the business for over 6 years now. I'm a retired nurse, do this full time, and this business has been such a huge blessing. And something that I have found myself doing every single year, you guys, is getting clear on my vision. And as the year kind of goes through, it's really easy to get distracted from our goals. It's easy to kind of, put our whys to the side or just get overwhelmed with life and everything else that's going on around us that we kind of lose our focus. And so I always love the new year because we're getting realigned with our goals. We're setting the vision. We're, getting really focused on where am I going? Why am I here? What am I working towards? And so, for those of you that are brand new, welcome to our team. We're so excited you're here. I would love for you all to just put in the comments, as all of us have this bonus availability to all of us, what are you guys working for this $4,000 bonus for? Like, what do you guys want to use this $4,000 fast start bonus and these bonuses up until March? Like, what do you want to use that money for? Like, I want you guys to go ahead and put it in the comments. Like, what would you use 4,000 for? And so as you're starting this new year, you want to set your goals. You want to get that vision down. And, there's a long-term vision and a short-term vision. And so long-term vision is kind of like, what do you want to accomplish over the next 5 years? And a short-term vision is kind of like, what do I want to accomplish between now and this whole year? What do I want to accomplish this year? And so if you don't really know what you want to do, like maybe you want to pay off debt, maybe you want to save for something, maybe you want to purchase something, maybe you want to invest, maybe you want to, maybe it's even health goals, like figuring out what you want to accomplish this year is important. And even setting a rank goal in your business. Like, I want to go diamond by the end of the year. I want to go VIP triple diamond, or I want to make $10,000 a month in my business. Maybe it's just a money income goal. But getting really clear and writing them down. Okay. There is power in writing down your goals. If you're just thinking about it in your head, it's actually just an imagination. It's not a goal. It's not a vision. It's just in your imagination, and it's easily lost. But if you're writing it to paper and you're physically taking your thoughts on paper, you're making it in stone. And so you have such a higher chance of actually accomplishing the things you write down. And so I encourage you guys, start like either a goal journal, make a vision board, and write down the things that you want to accomplish, the big things, the small things. I remember when I first started, you guys, I wanted to go diamond because I wanted to be able to afford eyelash extensions. Okay. That was a goal of mine. Those were expensive. And I knew I needed to be at least making diamond income, $2,000 to $4,000 a month, to be able to afford eyelash extensions. And so that was just a small, fun goal that I was shooting for. And I knew that once I went diamond, I could do that. So having those goals down is so important. And even just talking to your spouse, talking to your family, and setting goals together is going to get you excited, and it's going to help you stay not motivated, but just inspired to show up for your business, because you're not always going to feel motivated to do this. But if you have something that you're working toward and you're looking at your goals every day, you're going to have a higher chance of showing up regardless of how you feel. And that's what's really important in this business, is just showing up for the things that you want, showing up for your why, and not just waiting to feel motivated, because none of us are ever really motivated every single day. You just have to show up, right? What else do you want to touch on with goals? We could talk about like what some goals should be, like enrollment wise. If you
I'm going to add one thing real quick. And you guys, I'm just really excited because I figured out that we can spotlight each of us. Why am I just now learning this? Like, I've always just went from one screen to the other when we could have been side by side for a long time. Like, I just got really excited. Really? I was like, I'm so proud of myself because I didn't even know that was an option. Like, I'm sitting over here, high-fiving and pat my back, but no, I'm just kidding. Okay. So I wanted to add too, along with goals. So think about something I would set even, and we're going to talk about these specifically, but you want to have like personal ones that you're doing like for your personal self, not only just for your business and different things, but something that like I've been doing. So one of my goals is to really just get into the Bible every single day. Like I've said it before, I've said different things like, and you like see different leaders saying different things. So I'm like, I just really want to know what the Bible says about X, Y, and Z. And so I have just really committed to that plan. So I set my goal for it. I've committed to doing it each and every day. And then the last part to that is I also went and found accountability, because how many times with goals do you set things up and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to, make money. But if you don't have anybody holding you accountable to, it's going to be a lot easier to just throw it off to the side. Right. And so find somebody that you can lock arms with. If you're not sure who that is, go to your sponsor or your diamond and above and just say, hey, look, these are some of my goals that I'm going for. Who do you think I could lock arms with and just push myself? And maybe some will be for business and maybe some will be for personal. And you may just find somebody that, oh my gosh, they've been through something similar to what, I need to go through or what I'm working towards. And so you want to have that accountability along with these goals. So we're going to talk about specific goals and what are things that should happen, but don't forget that piece, because it's going to be really easy for you to tell yourself, oh, like how many times do we say, oh, I'll start on Monday, or oh, like, okay, it's already January 4th, so like I'm out 4 days, so maybe I'll just really start February 1st, and you count yourself out the rest of the month because you didn't say yes. And so make sure that you're not doing that. I mean, obviously easier said than done, but if you have accountability and somebody's holding you accountable and they're checking in and they're saying, hey, like, my friend, she texted me and she's like, hey, I read, X, Y, and Z. Did you read yours? And I was like, yes, read mine this morning. But we're holding each other accountable just so that way we have those different things. So that's going to be a huge piece. Okay, so let's talk specific goals and just like what are some things that people can be doing, thinking. And I know somebody put in the comments, vision boards. That's a great thing to be doing, especially if you have like your own little team. I know that they did a vision board Zoom, I think it was like beginning of last week or something. So you can also go and find that recording if you're looking for a specific Zoom. But let's talk about things that people can be putting on there, but then also how to set goals.
Yeah. So, are you talking about for the business goals?
I would say business, and then we can also talk about, obviously like some maybe personal example goals.
Okay. So obviously, you guys, right now there is the 4-in-1 four and a friend system that's going on, and if you sign 4 customers with 240 BV and you sign up a distributor, you personally earn a $150 bonus. When you teach that distributor to go sign 4 customers and 1 distributor, you earn a $350 bonus and they earn their $150 bonus. So that right there, that's $500. And when you do that full cycle 3 times, you earn an extra $2,500 bonus as a total of $4,000. Okay. So for your goals, you want to get specific with your enrollments, and rather you print out a tracker. I made a tracker. There's probably the corporate tracker. When you log in eSuite, you can see that system there, but definitely have it written down somewhere on paper or print out a tracker so you know what you need. And so when I'm signing customers, you guys, I literally have my 4-in-1 and then my friend's 4-in-1 on paper. And I'm writing down my customer's name. I'm writing down the BV, and I'm subtracting 240 minus however much volume has come in through those customers. And I'm like, okay, I need this much more volume. I need this many more customers. I know what I need. Okay. Because it's on paper, it's all there. If you don't write it down, you have no idea what you need and you have nothing to push for. Okay. So setting a weekly goal is kind of how I stay holding myself accountable in this business. So for me, and everyone's goals are going to be different, but for me, I want to sign at least 4 customers and 1 distributor every week. Okay. For you, that might not be your goal, but I write it down on paper. This week, I'm signing 4 customers, 1 distributor, and I'm looking at it every day. Okay. And based on my goals, I know during the middle of the week, if I am not close to my 4 customers, I'm going to try to push out a ton of host to posts because I got to get in more conversations. I got to get closer to that goal. I'm looking at it daily, you guys. I promise you, millionaires and billionaires, they look at their goals and they say their goals out loud more than 5 times a day. Okay. So if you want to be successful in this business, you have to be goal minded. You have to have goals in front of you. You have to be looking at them. So minimum, you guys, shoot for a cycle for a month. 4 customers, 1 distributor for you, and help your distributor sign 4 customers and 1 distributor. That's 8 customers total, 2 distributors. That's a full cycle. Do that 3 times, you've earned that bonus. So, but the biggest thing is setting those weekly goals, but also setting goals that will help you actually reach those achievements. So maybe that's a host to post goal. Okay. That's where all of my customers come from, is host to post. So I set a daily host to post goal, 10 a day. And so when I'm working my business and, I have time here and there, I'm messaging for host posts because my goal is I want to get 10 posts up If I don't have 10 posts up, I know I just need to reach out to a couple more people, message a couple more people, and try to get those posts up. So setting action goals is important. And maybe for you, you get really good engagement on TikToks and Reels. So maybe set a daily TikTok or Reel goal, or how many, business opportunity Reels or videos do you want to make in a week? Set that goal down, write it down. Is it one a day? Is it 3 times a day? Or, even maybe just setting days that you want to post certain types of Reels and TikToks, like Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm going to post a business opportunity, and just get it ingrained in your system, write it down in your calendar, and then just do it on those days. Those are the types of goals that you want to be setting. Action numbers, right? Like productivity, action numbers is what you want to be tracking too. How many messages you're sending out, maybe have a minimum goal that you're shooting for, like starting 50 new conversations a day, or starting 10 new conversations about the business. Like, have a number goal that you're shooting for every day, so that way you have action steps to take, and you're reaching those minimal goals to get the results that you want to get.
That's perfect. I also went ahead and created a like a little post in the team page, so you guys will see any different helpful tips as far as like goals and things that we are talking about tonight. You guys will find those in the comments there, so that way if you're talking about the tracker, we'll post it there, talking about some different things as far as goals and different things, so that way you've got those at your fingertips. And then the other thing that I want to add to, or did you have something else you want to say? Okay. So when it comes to goals, I feel like I learned this like forever ago, but there's always that acronym SMART. And so that has always been super helpful, where it's, make sure that your goals are specific. So, really get down to the nitty gritty, what's your intention? What's your why? What is something specific that you could use, that you want to do, that you want to accomplish? Maybe something that seems like just a little far-fetched. Maybe it's an income goal or the business goal, as far as, a certain rank, like what is going to be a life-changing thing for you. And it doesn't mean that you are going to hop off this Zoom and you might have all the answers today. Okay. These goals are going to be something that you're constantly going to be working on and evolving and changing and doing different things. And I know for me personally, a couple of years ago when we were like struggling through infertility and finally got pregnant with IVF, I was at a standstill because I had accomplished everything that I was so hardcore focused on. Right. And so I kind of felt like stuck in all the things. And I'm like, this is supposed to be great. Like, I'm finally achieving the things, but I hadn't really figured out, like, I hadn't gotten my skin in the game again. Right. And so those are the things you want to think about. What is a specific goal that you want to work towards? And make sure that you're writing them down. Make sure that you're putting them somewhere that you can see each and every day. So if you have a bulletin board, if you want to make it the background of your phone, that's a great thing to do, because you know that you're always plugging into that. Make sure that they're measurable. Okay. Do not just say, hey, I want to achieve this goal, and you don't give yourself a deadline. I even just had this conversation with my son last night, because he has, he's into chapter books now. And so he's like, Mom, like, my goal is I'm going to finish this book by the end of the year. And I was like, Finn, like, you can literally read this. I was like, I know you can read this a lot faster than that. So how about we say this entire month, and you'll read 2 chapters a day, and that's what will knock it out for you to get it finished. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, and then last night he read 2 chapters, tonight he read 2 chapters, but he hadn't put that measurement on. He just thought, oh, I'm just going to finish it in this year. So really get specific. And again, you can do these things with your kids too. If they're at the age where they can get involved and help hold you accountable, especially, like for me, and like different things. If I'm like scrolling or working, he's now interested. He's like, is that what you do for work? I'm like, no, these are the things that I'm specifically doing. He's like, oh, okay, Mom, did you get this done today? So he'll ask those things, but he's at that age where he can do that. So that is going to be the next part. So the SM, oh my gosh, I hope my phone, there we go. And then we've got attainable. So make sure that it's something that's not super crazy. I mean, obviously, the sky's the limit with goals and different things, but make sure it's something that you actually know that you're going to be working towards accomplishing. Okay. The next thing is going to be relevant or rewarding. And so make sure that it's something that's personal to you, something that is really gonna, we always say your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. Your goals should be specific to that too. What are things? And if you're at a point where you're not quite sure, that's okay. This is the perfect time to just brainstorm. We're going to talk a little bit about some self-development and mindset when it comes to goals, but start thinking of those things, start having conversations and ask people. Maybe it's your sponsor and just saying, hey, like, what were your goals when you were at this level? Like, what were the things that you were working towards, so that we can kind of start thinking along those lines. And then the last one is time bound. So making sure that you set that specific deadline, and it's trackable. So not just like, oh, I'm going to get there. It's like, no, you're going to be tracking those results every single day.
Can I add something really quick?
Yes.
With the time thing. So on my little thing where I write out my goals for the week, my enrollment goals, my week is Friday. Okay. And so why I pick Friday is because Friday at midnight is when it kind of cuts off for our system to pay us out the following week for fast start bonuses. And so anything you do from basically Saturday to Friday at midnight is a period where you want to get 4 in 1. So that way, that following Friday, you can get paid that fast start bonus. So I push myself to get 4 customers, 1 distributor before Friday at midnight. And so that's kind of like my deadline. Like, I got to get that customer, that last customer before Friday at midnight, so I can get paid that bonus the next week. And so that's something that I always am just like shooting for. Like Friday at midnight, that's like my deadline, like personal deadline. Obviously, you can still enroll after that, but if you want to get paid the bonus the following week, that Friday at midnight is kind of a good time frame to really push yourself for enrollments.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so another thing I'm going to add, and then we're going to talk about just your mindset as far as different things go. So we are going to be in a season of boom, and it's going to be crazy, and we're going to be talking to a lot of people. Drop a 1 if you've already been having a lot more conversations than you've probably imagined, or people are coming out of the woodwork because all of a sudden it's a new year and they have resolutions and different things. And so something that I really want to point out to you is not only with your business goals, but make sure that you've really set aside, I would say, work business hours. And this is something that, because I don't want you to get into a season where you go so hard in your business that you forget all the other things. And I'm not saying that we can't have those times where it's like, oh my gosh, the enrollments and different things. But I also, looking back, I wish I would have done things a little bit different. And so I've grown since that, doing this for 7.5 years. And so I've gotten really specific on my work business hours and the times that I'm doing certain things for like my house or with my family or with my husband. And so be specific on that too, because this is an amazing, beautiful process, and you can achieve those goals, but you don't want to look back and be like, oh my gosh, like I did all these things and like I messed up my marriage or something, because you went so hard in one area that you forgot something else. And so that's something that I just want to encourage you to do, because this business isn't meant to take over your entire life. And I know we've preached that on some different levels, and it can be amazing. And especially when you're going for big goals. And so I'm not telling you, oh my gosh, only 1 hour a day. No, if you have a big goal, it might take more time and it might be some sacrifice, and that's totally fine. But I want you to just make sure that you're setting those work hours and you're setting those conversations and you're having those conversations with your family, so that way they can really understand that process too. And so those are just things to be mindful. And then the other thing that I know that I wanted to add, and then we'll talk about some mindset, and this kind of leads into it, is there's so much chaotic and crazy going on in the world right now. Okay. It doesn't matter where you're at, or who you're talking to and different things. And so we're going to be talking about some different resources to get your mind right. And I know, like, and hopefully this isn't taken the wrong way, like if you want to watch trash TV or like your show, whatever it is, that's totally fine. If you want to listen to whatever kind of music, that's totally fine. Like I like to watch Yellowstone. There's certain shows that I like to watch, different things, but make sure that it's serving you, and make sure that you've also committed to the mindset piece of this. Because if you think, oh, I'll get to it later, I'm working as I'm watching different shows, subconsciously, different things will affect your mindset, okay? Or who you're talking to and different influences. So make sure that you're starting your day in whatever is going to best fill your mindset. Or, if you're learning about different things, like whatever it is in the world, TV shows, anything like that, just make sure that you are really also pouring into yourself, because there's been like studies, they even said, like listening to like certain types of music every single day, all of a sudden they've gone back and they've looked at just how their like business or different things were going. And I'm not saying specific to this, but all of a sudden things shifted, or maybe they weren't doing as well as they wanted to, or different things. And so it's just going to be really important to make sure that you're plugging in and utilizing that. Now, I'm not saying you can't watch anything. I'm not saying that at all, like whatever, but just make sure that you're also taking the time for this next piece, because it's going to be super crucial as you're growing your business, as you're in this season of growth and mindset and focusing your goals. You want to make sure that you've poured into yourself. So let's talk a little bit about mindset and just getting prepped, for the year, and what are certain things that you do every day, or what are some of your favorite like podcasts or books that you've listened to or read?
So definitely, I mean, kind of like just briefly talking about like what you just said. I will tell you that if you don't have belief in what you're doing or in yourself, you're not going to hit your goals 100%. And if you don't believe that you can hit your goals, or if you don't believe that your goals are going to actually come into your real life, they're not gonna happen. Okay. So developing that belief comes from developing a strong mindset, because I can tell you that when you do start doing personal development, it could literally be one sentence in a book that changes your perspective on how you see yourself and how you see the business world, of how you see entrepreneurship. It could literally be one sentence in a book that flips a switch for you. And that's what it was for me. Okay. I heard all these top leaders saying, do self-development, do self-development. And I'm like, I don't need self-development. No. When I read my first self-development book, which was You Are a Badass, and then I read Get Over Your Damn Self, those two books when I first started my business, or a couple months in, changed the game for me. Okay. Because I actually was struggling with self-confidence. I didn't even really know it until I was reading this book, and I was like, oh, wait, I actually do struggle with that. Or I was thinking that way about things, and it changed my mindset. And I was like, wow, why was I worrying about what other people think about me? This is stupid. You know what I mean? But because I read that book, I got over an internal conflict that I didn't even know that I was struggling with. Okay. So those were two really good books that I started reading that boosted my confidence, helped me just kind of see what was possible with network marketing, that helped me expand my vision when I first started. Now, what I do on a regular basis is, I just when I start my morning out, I like to start off with gratitude, because I feel like if you're starting with a grateful heart, number one, you're allowing more abundance to come into your life. But two, how can you be in a bad mood if you're focusing all of what you have in your life, right? Because if you're focusing on what you don't have, you're just going to attract more bad things. But if you're focusing on what you do have, you just are opening that door for more good things to come into your life. And so I actually usually do this in my phone if I'm not sitting in my office. Sometimes when I'm just laying in bed, I have this note section in my phone that's specifically for gratitude. And I just sit there and I type out 5 to 10 things that I'm grateful for. Okay. It could literally be running water. It could be my husband, this business. It could be our house. It could be our cars, whatever. But I'm doing this daily. And sometimes I say different things, or sometimes I'm repeating the same things. But starting out with gratitude is what I do. And then typically I try to either listen to a sermon, I try to, either read from my Bible, some type of like spiritual self-development, just to get my mind right, pray in the morning, journal. These are just some things. I don't do all of these every day, but I'm at least doing one of them. Okay. And with journaling, I know this is like so weird to sit and write out things, but when you start writing out, and mostly when I'm journaling, a lot of times I'm really just manifesting, like I'm manifesting what I want to see in my life. So I might write down on a piece of paper, and I will write in like present tense of what I want my future to look like. So I'll say like, I'm so excited. I opened eSuite and I have 300,000 GB in the system. I'm Ambassador Diamond. I have $30,000 monthly income payments coming through. It works. I have this, this, and this. This is going well. Everyone on my team is hardworking. I'm attracting customers into my business. They're getting super high BV orders. I'm just writing out the things that like I want to see in my life. And I can promise you, the year I went presidential, it was because I started doing this. I was literally writing out every single day what I wanted my team to look like, what I wanted my enrollments to look like, what I wanted my body to look like. And I got fit. I lost a lot of weight that year because I literally wrote about it every day. I wrote out the things that I wanted. I wrote about how I wanted to bring my husband home, did it. Wrote about how I wanted to pay off my credit cards, did it. Like, start writing down things that you want every day, and you will start seeing them happen because you're intentional, because you're putting it out there. This is what I'm working on. This is what I want. And the universe will literally, it will throw it at you. They're like, dang, she really wants this. She talks about it every freaking day. Let's give it to her. Okay. So that's just some things that I do in my morning. If I'm listening to podcasts or, really when I was working full time, I would just listen to podcasts or YouTube videos on my way to work and on my way home from work. I was drained. How many of you work at a really draining, exhausting, terrible 9 to 5 job? Go ahead and just drop a 2 in the comments if that's you. You leave your job and you're like, my life, like, my life. That was me. And I will tell you what, I knew when I walked out that door that my mind was gone. It was in the gutter. Like, it was bad. Okay. No energy, low energy, terrible mindset. So I had to fill up my cup because I knew if I was going to go home and try to work my business, I had to get my mind right, point blank. So I would listen to YouTube. I would search motivational videos, Ed Milet, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, like all kinds of just personal development. If you just get on there and search what you're struggling with, like if you're struggling with anxiety, there's videos about overcoming anxiety. If you're struggling with confidence, there are videos with how to get more confident. Like whatever you feel like you're struggling with, not having enough energy, there's a video about it. Okay. Just type in what you're struggling with. Podcast wise, I listen to a lot of Ed Milet. I listen to Craig Groeschel. He has some really good leadership stuff. John Maxwell. Those are just some mentors that I'm always listening to. And then I'm trying to think. Oh, there's this podcast. I usually try to like flip through the beginning of it because he's always like talking about challenges or whatever. But Your Virtual Upline. That's a really good network marketing podcast to listen to because he talks all about building a business for network marketing, and he has really good messages. But I try to kind of fast forward through some of his promo stuff. Yes, Bob.
I knew his name was Bob, but I couldn't remember his last name. Yeah, I think like Taylor said, it's all going to be dependent on what you're needing that day. So if you're just now getting started in the business, it's going to be some just like, you might need some, you go and find those collaboration videos of just motivation. It's 10 minutes. And then if you're growing your team and different things, you might be plugging into leadership, or maybe something personal is going on that you're plugging into those podcasts or YouTube or anything. And I know one of the books that changed it for me you can find it on YouTube and listen to it, but it was Go for No. That was a huge one for me. And just knowing that you're going to hear no so many times. And so whenever we are challenged to go for 10 no's a day, that's always been my goal, is I want to have enough conversations that 10 people are telling me no. And flat out no. Like if people can get information, that becomes a potential. If they're saying, okay, I'm not quite ready, that's not a no to me. They have to literally like block me or say no. And so I'm having those conversations because I listen to that. And so it's changed my mindset. And then there's a ton of amazing, and we'll drop some in that post of just some different books and things that have been super helpful. But like Taylor said, Mel Robbins, anybody is going to be good just based on what your situation of life is or different things. And so we'll drop some different resources. But again, when it comes to mindset, it's setting that intention, setting that focus, that there's going to be some good days, there's going to be some bad days. There may be some days that you don't want to do it, but I promise you the days that you still do it are going to be heck of a lot better than the ones that you just flat out put it to the side. Because I know even sometimes for me, like when I go to work out in the mornings, I listen to podcasts and stuff on my drive to the gym. And so like, one day on the weekends or something like that, if I'm not going to work out that early and it's not my routine that I'm not listening to it, I'll wake up and I'm like, oh, something's just off, but I haven't set my mind right. Like I might have done some of the other things that might be very similar, but I also need to plug into that. And so reading, so maybe it's, like she said, devotion, journaling. One of the biggest pieces of advice that somebody gave to me when I was going for ambassador, and at the time I didn't know I was going for ambassador, but she told me to start journaling as if life's already happened 6 months down the road. And so what does your business look like? You're so thankful for what in your business? You're so thankful because of what results, what's happening, what have you been able to do? What kind of money was deposited into your bank account? What have you been able to do with that? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What is it like? If you're making a lot of money, you might lick it. I don't know. What does it taste like? Those different things. Get specific so that way you have that emotion attached to it, right? And so I started, visualizing things that were going to happen. And it's crazy what happens when you start thinking about it, you start putting it on paper, and then what actually plays out. So some of the things that I'm always talking about is, I want to be an exceptional wife and mother. I want to, be fully present. I have people coming out of the woodwork to talk to me about the business. I, am making X, Y, and Z kind of income. I have X, Y, and Z in my savings. This is the different things that are happening. I'm talking to every single person that I'm coming in contact with is either changed by me or they're wanting to, join the business because they're motivated enough to make that change for them personally. Get specific on those different things and start journaling that. And yes, we're giving you a lot of amazing tips, and it's not like you might have a really great morning tomorrow. These are all going to be new routines and things that are going to be put into a place. So don't get discouraged if you forget one day to do one thing. That just means give yourself grace and start at the next. Because again, if you go back to that consistency piece with the mindset and the discipline and everything else, if you're not held accountable, if you're not showing up and you're saying, oh, I'll start February 1st, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So just make that commitment to yourself too, that even if you don't have a great day in it, you're still going to show up for yourself the day after. So Tay, is there anything else that you wanted to add or any other questions that you guys have in the chat? I know this was a lot of information. Some of it you guys might have heard, some of it may be brand new, but it's the thing is, the work that you're doing right now is what's going to pay off. And so I remember, God, it's 6 years ago, which is crazy to think, maybe even 7. I was going into a season, I had hit presidential, and I went into January knowing that I had 82 distributors or 84 to get to ambassador for my entire team. We needed 84 distributors, but it was the work that I was doing October, November, December, January, February, March that helped me go ambassador in March. It was the work that I was doing on my mind. It was the work and the belief that I was doing each and every day to get those results. And so the first thing is your mindset. You have to believe it. And so I didn't know how it was going to happen. Because again, like I never mass enrolled. I didn't know how 84 distributors for our team was going to happen, and in all the right places, right? I mean, enrollments can happen, but in all the right places. But it was just so much of making my mind up, deciding that it was going to happen and doing it. So anything else you want to add?
Really too, like just being mindful of the self-talk that you're conversating with yourself every day. And maybe not even, it's just the thoughts that are going through your head as you're sending out messages. Breathe life over your business, breathe life over you. And don't talk bad about your business. Don't say no one's commenting, or these posts aren't blowing up, or no one wants this, or it's so hard to sign distributors. Don't say those things. Okay. If you start saying those things out loud, what do you expect to happen? Those things. Okay. So if you want to sign distributors and you want them to come to you easily, say that out loud. Distributors come to me easily. It's actually not hard. I attract people into my business because when you start changing the way you talk about your business and about yourself, it's crazy how those things will start showing up in your life. Okay. So what you focus on expands. If you don't want the bad in your life, don't focus on it. Don't speak it. Don't speak it over your life. only speak the positivity over your business, over yourself. You are capable. Even saying those I am statements, you guys, I was in a really big rut when I first started this business. I couldn't sign distributors. Okay. I couldn't, right? That's what I was saying. I was saying that same thing over and over. It's hard. I can't sign them. No one wants this. And as soon as I started just every day, I am a top enroller. Everyone wants to join my team. I attract the right people in. When I started saying those things, I started believing it. And then I started showing up in my business with a different light, a different energy, a different urgency. And then I was attracting those people in. So just be mindful of your self-talk, you guys. That's such a huge part of this. If you think you can't, you won't. And if you think you can, you will. And it's really that simple.
Yes. Okay. So one last thing I want to add, and then we will go ahead and cut this off. But the other thing that I would encourage you to do, if you haven't thought about, maybe you're, just getting your team started, or you have a few team members. I want you to take the time tonight too, to write down 5 main quality characteristics of your ideal distributor recruit. Okay. I want you to jot those down, 5 to 7. What would be your perfect person if you just were like, they walked right into my inbox, this is all the things that they would be right now. I want you to think about those things. Okay. So jot those down. And then I want you to go through, once you've made that list, I want you to make sure that you're doing and being all those things. Okay. Because so many times we can say, oh my gosh, like I want a top enroller, like I want somebody that this and this, and I'm not saying you have to go out and be a top enroller. That was a bad example, but if you're not being consistent, if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to message or put yourself out there, like sometimes we're just like, I just want distributors that would post, right? So maybe I have this distributor that is amazing at posts and she is so genuine and authentic. I have this distributor that isn't afraid to put herself out there on TikToks and Reels. I have this distributor that isn't afraid to do X, Y, and Z. So I really want you to think about those things and then challenge yourself along with the mindset to become those things that you're wanting. Because I promise you, the minute that you start showing up for yourself, just like you want that ideal distributor, you are going to see the results just like you're expecting. And so that is all we have for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. I know that this is so powerful, lots of amazing things. We will put, like I said, some of those resources in the comments of that chat. And again, our team Zooms are moving to every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I think next week is going to be social media tips, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be an amazing one to tune in, just so you guys can get different things. So each and every week we'll be switching it up. Also, too, you can go, and if you ever have a certain topic that you want us to cover, please, reach out and let us know, because we've been doing this for a long time and we want to make sure that we get you guys the information. But if there's something that's just on your heart, please share it with us. So, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tay, for sharing your heart. I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see y'all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.